This is Book Affairs, your TV book program where we talk about no other thing but books and where we narrate stories that live beyond the pages. The last time we met on this show, we featured a book. We talked about the writer and the content of that book. I want to assure you that today we are not going to deviate from that tradition. Today, we are going to talk about an autobiography that is contextualized to a community, Ifira-Akoko. This is quite interesting, but you may not get to know these details until you have watched this program from the beginning of it to the end. Yomi Ogunye is my name, and my guest today is a lawyer, the autobiographer who has decided to focus this book on his community. As you all know, a book cannot write itself, and behind every book there is a writer, and the writer today is the guest. He is Mr. Ola Amure. And sir, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
I told those watching us that today we are going to talk about a book that is both an autobiography and a book contextualized on a community. You are from that community, Ifira-Akoko. But before we go into the details, we want to meet you. We want you to tell us about yourself. Who is Ola Amure?
Once again, my name is Ola Amure, a 60-year-old man from Ifira-Akoko in Akoko Southeast local government area for those state. I grew up at Ifira-Akoko before coming to Akure to complete my secondary education at St. Thomas Aquinas College in 1984. Thereafter, I joined the service of this water corporation and rose to become a director before I retired in 2020. And along the line, I studied history, I studied law, and today I'm a legal practitioner at Ola Amure & Co. Shimba as the head of legal service. At the same time, I'm a politician.
You are a historian, you are an administrator, you are a politician, you are a lawyer, you have a robust background, and I want to believe all of that must have reflected in what you have written here.
Yeah, very well.
Starting from the book, let's talk about the title, which is Ifira-Akoko and the trajectory of Arungbolu Prince. Of all things in the world, how come you arrived at this title? Why did you choose this title?
Yeah, a lot of factors came up before the title. I've got a lot of title about it. The first is what I want to write about. I wanted to write about the story of my town, to solve the problem on ground, and see how I can contribute by writing. Thereafter, to make it more voluminous and to celebrate my sister's birthday, I added the story of myself. How do I combine the two together so that it can be catching and everybody will want to read? Then we arrive at the meaning of tragedy, that is the journey of the two, as well the history of Ifira so far, and that of myself, hitherto. That's how I arrive at the title of the book.
In other words, the book signifies your life history as it relates to your community at Ifira-Akoko. Thank you very much. Now, I would like you to tell us what inspired you to write the book. Why did you have to write this book? Why is it that important? Why must you write it?
Yeah, a combination of factors. What about it? The book was written properly to commemorate my sister's birthday, at the same time to contribute to the development of my hometown, Ifira-Akoko, particularly area we are in this wood, that is the chieftaincy. To see, I think I'm supposed to say that this is the first book that contains the history of Ifira that you can lay your hand on. You have been hearing a story here and there, but I try to look at the story from both sides, either written, oral, or from archival materials, and I try to put it together to become a book. The majorly purpose is to see how you can see that Ifira become a one town that development is not hindered by mere victory of the gladiators. That is why I that's the first book I've written. But when I was when I was investing, my essay became one of the book that was, one of the article that was published in the local site of Nigeria. But as a civil servant, if you write, you may not be able to publish because of finances. But now that I have a lot of things that to write, but because of publication, hindered me. But this one, I didn't allow it to disturb me. I use whatever I have to make it published.
In the course of your explanation, you talked about a dispute in the community. Then you talked about the community, Ifira-Akoko being one. Are you trying to say there are parts of it that is not clear to us? What exactly are you trying to say here?
Yeah, in the book, even in the first paragraph or first page of the book, I said Ifira is a community of 3 towns make one.
3 towns in one.
3 towns, one. All of them claim that they came from Oduduwa. They came with their crown. As a result, all of them want to be a king in their own domain. But the government, in their own wisdom, recognize only one of them. Why? It's only the government that know. But if you look at the story, you know what the colonial master did to us. How they divide and rule, use one set against the other, and establish the person that can understand their language, meaning that I can work with them to trade, to propagate their missionary. They try to displace and replace a king at that time, and that's why Yoruba towns are when you major towns today in Yoruba land, you see that there's chieftaincy title. But I sat down. Let us sit down. I took example from many towns. Even here in Akure, you have 3 obas. They are living. Go to Ifira-Akoko, they have more than 7. Go to Okeagbe, they are living. Go to Ikare. So why Ifira should be an exception? So that's why I try to write the book so that it will expose everybody to what is happening, and we can be able to sit down and find a lasting solution. The last chapter of the book devoted to that. So that's one of the major reasons that I thought we can resolve that. We want everybody, either born or born, this generation or past generation, to know what happened before, what is happening now, so that we can prepare well for the future. That's major purpose of the book.
The other angle of the book talks about your 60th birthday. You mentioned that. Why did you decide to, marry the 2 of them together? That is the autobiographic aspect of the book. I'll also be interested in that.
Yeah, my publisher was against it at the beginning. That was, if I want to write a book on Ifira, write a book on Ifira. If you want to write a book, your own story, write your own story. But after completing a part, it was just too small to me. How can I, as a lawyer, as a historian, how can I be writing a 30 pages book? I say I want to write a book. I said no. The other one, too big. Let me combine everything together so that it could become handy, and you see that's a textbook, not a pamphlet. I told them I'm not ready to write a pamphlet. I want to write a book. That's why I try to combine the two together, and it works. Even a chapter was devoted to my mother, the princess. A chapter of the book is devoted to my own mother. It's a princess. I devoted a page, a chapter of the book to her.
So if I may ask you, how many chapters, how many pages do we have here?
We have 192 pages and 8 chapters.
8 chapters.
Yeah.
And if I may ask you, who was the publisher and when was the book published?
The book was published in June 2025 by Omni Grace Printing and Publishing Company, based in Akure.
All right. You have told us quite a lot about your background, about the book, about Ifira-Akoko, and it looks as if everything has been so easy, writing it, though you did mention of finances and all of that. If I may ask you, what challenges did you encounter in the process of writing the book?
Yeah, to write an autobiography or a story of a town, it's not usually easy. Particularly if you are not a historian, you may commit slander or something else. Get information that is the correct one. It's difficult. Like I told you, our community is a two community make a town. You hear from this, combine it together would be a difficult thing. So at the beginning, to know which was the real truth, who is telling the truth, telling the lie. Is it the Okefra people? Is it the Odefra people? Is it your people that are telling me the truth? But as a historian and as a lawyer, I try to see how I can balance it, place everybody in his own place. Say this man says so. This man his account. Why they are struggling in the court on the issue, I say he says so, and so. But and I try to let everybody know, the reader to know that they cannot have a one story because they came differently from different place before they can come to before they arrive at Ifira. The only story that can they combine together is when they are truly together. But during the period of migration, women from where they are originally, some say they are from Benin, some say they are directly from Ife, one say he is from Utuo near Benin. But that's a different story. But the story that they may not be different is when they started, when the what do we call it, the Europeans came to their midst, the British came to their midst. That's where they have a common story. So taking that together, it's very difficult to get authentic story. But by inspiration, by dreams, all those kind of things, are able to put one or two together to become that story of Ifira. But I'm not saying it's a complete story. I'm just to say I want to serve as a pathfinder for others to at least to help me to balance it. Take a look at where I've lied. Let it know. I'm preparing to write the volume 2. I've been starting on that so that I can correct my mistake, add what I supposed to add, remove what I supposed to add, and add what supposed to be contained to make it to make it a story that is well accepted to at least majority of the people.
For some time, you've been watching and listening to Mr. Ola Amure, the writer of Ifira-Akoko and the trajectory of Arungbolu Prince. He has a lot more to tell us about this book, but not until we have observed this break. Do not go away.
There's a shadow which for the sun, when there is love for the one.
Welcome back. You are still watching Book Affairs, your TV book program where we talk about no other thing but books. And as I told you earlier, this is where we narrate stories that go beyond the pages. And as you have heard from my guest, a lot is going on at Ifira-Akoko, and he has been able to put some of this in his book. And Mr. Ola Amure, once again, I welcome you.
Thank you very much.
The other time you told us that this book, or the story in this book, started from when the British colonialists came. If I may ask you, why did you not explore the story beyond that time? Why did you pick it from when the British colonialists came?
Non-availability of records.
Okay.
I don't have that record. Like I told you, I talked to some people. The books on the issue of Ifira started in 1993. When I wanted to write my essay, long essay for completing the BA history. But I was advised to my lecturers, my supervisor then said that I should write another thing, say who supervise writing the local history of town or those things. No, I have to abandon all the documents I have. I kept them. When time came in 2000 that I started writing again. So by that time, no books, no handy paper, document that you can lay your hand on. And if I started writing what some people told me, I may end up in getting millions of fines from other people. So I don't want to commit myself too much. I lay my hand on what I think I can defend before man and God.
We have a tradition, and that tradition is that the author reads a portion somewhere that is apt and significant for the audience. So I would like you to take the book and read a portion of your book to us.
Yeah, let me take you to page 93. By August 20,000, I was transferred to the Ondo State Water Corporation Career Office as administrative officer. It was as if I was posted to a career Akoko to go and feed an age-long ambition to study law at the Adekunle Ajas University, Akoko. There was a day that I strolled to the university campus to catch glimpse of the environment for the first time. There, I met a friend at the campus who told me that he came to submit a direct entry admission form into the Faculty of Law at the university. I became interested, even though the form was about to close. The following day, I did all that it was required and necessary to get my own admission form process completed.
Thank you very much. That's quite robust. It is punchy, simple, and clear. But for the benefit of those who may not understand as easily as you, the writer, have comprehended it, I will want you to shed more light on that. What exactly do you want to bring out of that?
Yeah, there's something God cannot do. When you want to do something in life, just focus that. Don't lose hope for want to do it. Like I told you after my university degree, I joined the water corporation. After some time, they transferred me to a career office. I was not happy. Can you be taking me to a career office as an admin officer when you have some other people who can go? But as a person, as a man, I have no other choice than to go. But within that week that I resumed at a career as an administrative officer, I went to Adekunle University. I met a friend. What do you come and do? What do you come here to do? He said, I was not aware that they are obtaining their direct entry form for law. There and then, I collected my own form. Fortunately for me too, the person was my secretary in the office. Then it was, I can't remember his title, it's late. It was a hierarchy chief in Ifira-Akoko. I told the leadership says radical. I told him I went to Akuba. Immediately he laid me up and I was getting admission. That's how I started studying the law. But as God will have it again, along the line, Agogo government came in. A man appointed me as a personal assistant. Personal assistant me. I have to choose between become a lawyer or you want to be an my Oga gave me that option. Do you want to continue with the program because it's conflicting with your job, or you want to go and study your law, or you want to be my essay? Along the line, I was remaining on it. We have essay admin, I'm the person, and we have essay political. The essay political is an elderly man to me. He came, he said he will be holding forth for me immediately anytime I go for lecture. By the way, he agreed to do that. My Oga agreed, and I started the program. Along the line, the strike, during the strike, I will focus on the job in the office. During lectures, I'll go there. I used to arrange my leave during exam. Okay, I'm going on leave. Give me 2 weeks. I'll write my exam. Go there. Along the line, when it was time for Secretary Magagu, my guy was lucky again. He was transferred to Minister of Works as a commissioner. But I said, I'm not going. I want to go to law school. I'm not following you. That's why I took the decision that I want to have this law program. Instead of running for money, not doing that Gagu time. If I want to become a millionaire or billionaire, I was thinking that it will do that process. I want to become it. I may abandon that program. And that may be the end of being a lawyer. Today, after retirement, I have an office to sit and engage in where I can feed myself. And if not because of a law, they can't appoint me as a legal advisor. Do you see somebody ready about that? I would say, it's a legal advisor of a political party. I got that opportunity when the proposal was zoned to my area, and the lawyer will only say, Ola Amure. They gave it to me on the platter of gold.
That's quite interesting. I'm sure you must be a very happy lawyer.
Very.
We thank God for that. That's quite nice. Now, Much earlier, you talked about the challenges you encountered in the process of writing the book. We have not talked about the solutions you were able to provide that others may learn from you. How were you able to surmount those challenges? What solutions were you able to provide, in order to, write the book?
Writing a book, the first problem you may want to face is how to get materials, how to get what you want to write. But I was able to solve that. Particularly, there was a time I visited Ibadan Archive, Ibadan National Archive at Ibadan, because of the book to get a fact of what I needed. And I'm always available. No, in my Ifira-Akoko, it's not a place that I don't know. There's no month that I will not visit Ifira more than 1 or 2 times. So I'm always at home. So at every time, at every junction, my biro and pen is always with me. So I write things down. Even at times in the night I may dream or something, I put it down. So challenges that I've agreed to write something. So I've told my mind that particularly when my sister's birthday is nearing, I've focused myself that I must complete writing this book at so time. So I was able to surmount that problem. And when the issue of publishing, I'm a civil servant, you have children in the university, you have to publish it and get it circulated. At least I produce almost 400 copies at more than 1 something million. When the finance got, but I just wake up every one day, just a friend just sent 1 million into my account for an assistant, a friend, a classmate. So with that, all other problem, even to organize the birthday was half solved.
That's very nice. You really have had it so good, and I really appreciate that.
Okay.
Finally, and in just one sentence, I would want you to give us your parting shot in form of advice to the public. Just one sentence.
I want to direct that to my compatriot at Ifira-Akoko, that they should see this book as a starting point for us. Let them read, digest, and see how we can solve the problem that I'm trying to see how we can solve. They shouldn't be offended about it at all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Ifira-Akoko should not feel offended about the book. They must see it as something they need to appreciate in order to have a step forward.
Thank you
very much, Barrister Ola Amure, for being with us on this show. By God's grace, by the time you write your second book, as you promised, we will bring you back here to talk about that book. And viewer, thank you very much for watching us for some time. You've been watching and listening to Barrister Ola Amure, the writer of Ifira-Akoko and the trajectory of Arungbolu Prince. He has been telling us about his life, his autobiography, contextualized to the book. And this is where we call it a day on today's episode of the program. Today, we dealt with a book. I assure you that when next we come around, we will be talking about another book. Yomi Ogunye is my name. Thank you very much for watching us, and goodbye.
There's a shadow you reach for the sun. When there is love in you for the one, and for the promises there is the sky, and for the heavens of those who can fly. If you really want to, you can hear me say, only if you want to, you find the way. If you really want to, you can seize the day. Only if you want to, you fly away. When there's a journey, you follow the sun.